So far in this low-budget classic motorcycle restoration series, we've seen the starting point for this project and built the engine up part of the way. Today we'll get the pistons into the cylinders and bolted back onto the crankcases to move the everyday bike project along. Let's get started.
Right, we need to put the base gasket on now, so we need a thin layer of well seal. And as before, we just put a little bit on, we spread it as we go. It is quite runny, this stuff, so it pours out almost. So you have to be very careful when you're applying it. Right, whenever you do anything, building, always make sure your bench is fairly clear and you've got what you need in front of you when you go to use it. You're not looking for it. So right, we're now ready to put the base gasket on. You have to be a little bit careful because there are dowels cut out. That's it. We'll apply another layer of well seal to the barrel underneath. Now we've got the base gasket on, we just need to put some bits of Dowling, or any bits of wood are okay, underneath, skirt the pistons. Because when we put the barrels on, we just want those pistons to be held up straight, not falling back. So you just put these in. Just need to turn the engine over a little bit. We've supported the pistons now for reassembly. Bit of all around the rings, and obviously the bores in a moment, but it's important to get your rings positioned properly. They don't want to be in line, so it needs to be about 120 degrees out to each other. So stagger them around. We try and keep the back oil control away from the back of the piston on the thrust side, 'cause it's on that point there. So we just position them in a nice position. We've got top ring, second ring, bottom ring. It's off to one side, it's here. You can put it that side, or it could be at the front, but we put it at the back. It's off. It's not on the centre line, it's off to one side. What we need to do is just lube up the top. So the rings have got some oil around, just helps on the reassembly when we're slipping over the barrel assembly on both. But what we have to do, we have to clamp up those ring sets with a clamp, then use a cable tie to hold it in tight. This job I'm doing here, I could really do with the cameraman just helping me to squeeze my pliers so I can pull my cable tie up nice and tight. As you can see with the barrel assembly, there isn't a taper, a very, very minor, if you can call it a taper. So that is where it's a little bit tricky. I'm almost inclined to actually chamfer this off, but I haven't. I think it'll be all right, but it's just making sure that sits down there and we can get the rings compressed in to slip up inside easily. It might be a little bit of a fiddle, but we'll face that one. What I need to do now is just clean this away and just put a little bit of coating of well seal on here. So we'll do that now. Just that excess oil, just make sure there's nothing. This is just casting marks. As you can see here, there's camshaft followers, and yeah, there's no scoring, just show your conditioners, they're all in good order. They've been soaked with oil, a little bit of engine oil around the bore. We got it on the rings, but we won't too much on here. It's just to start it off. I do notice on these A65 engines that the finish on the barrel assembly is not quite what it was on the A10. When I done that, it's more casting marks here. They haven't cleaned it up so much. If you look in here, there's quite a lot of crud from the sand casting. But it's okay, it's not loose or anything, but it is there. Now we've got the clamps in place, it's so important to try and pull your cable ties up tight. The reason we use this is because we've got these expanding clamps here, which are okay if you've got two people. You can, obviously you've got a scissor on the back here, and you're squeezing these in. But if you're doing it on your own, it's a bit fiddly, so I tend to squeeze them up tight, get a cable tie on there, and that's why I need a bit of hand just now, pulling the ties up nice and tight. But you still got to be careful lowering the barrels down. When we put the barrel on in the moment, we'll have to probably give a little bit of extra pressure, maybe around at different times, and we just wiggle this on. But yeah, this is the easier way to do it. And we can also come in quickly with a pair of pliers and still help each side a little bit. It just keeps it all together. Right, clean hands as much as possible. And we'll try and now fit the barrels. Just see a little bit of a mark or something there, so I'm just going to wipe that away with my finger. The problem we got is not very good taper, or no taper at all on the bottom, the skirts of the barrels, so it's going to be a little bit awkward. We've so far got both the top rings in. I don't like doing this job because you can break a ring quite easily. Japanese engines, they've got a good taper and they go on easy, but this, especially when you're being filmed, it's not easy. We're down to the oil control ring now, so we just have to put a little bit of pressure on each side. We seem to be doing quite well. If we can get this one started off here, you sometimes need to just use a screwdriver just to push in the ring a little bit. We just got a little bit of the ring proud here. I think gentle movement. We just come back to the other piston. That's nearly in. This one is a bit of a way out still, so we need to just catch up this one. This again, we've got a bit of a gap here. You can see the rings just popped here. I might be able to do this now. I'll just push this ring back in carefully. Okay, we just have to drop the cable tie off on this one and do this one manually. Yeah, well, it looks like that ring is in place. I think we'll do the same with the other side now. We'll drop that cable tie off the ring clamp so we can use the pliers and just give it an extra little squeeze. We're very close now. Okay, the rings are in, so now we can take out our metalwork. We can take out our clamps, just squeeze them away a little bit so they don't scuff the pistons. Now the rings are up in the skirts, the lower part of the barrel. I'm just going to gently nurture that down. What we can do now, we can take our bits of Dowling out. So I think we're safe to do that now. We'll just lift the barrel up slightly. Just make sure our base gasket is still in place. It's got a little bit stretched where the bits of dowel were sitting on it, but we can stretch it back out. Just make sure everything's in line. And there we are. Now the barrel is back on the base of the crankcase. Everything's in place. We just put the washers on here and nuts on here. Then we put a coating of oil on there and we just turn it over, make sure it's all nice and free. But the rings have gone in okay. A little bit fiddly, but that bit's done. Just a note, well seal, which we've been using, it doesn't go hard. It's quite gooey and it will start to go. It will set, but it will be more tacky. So if you assemble anything, you want to give it like half an hour really before you put oil back into something. They say you should coat one surface and another surface, and before you put it together, give it a few minutes air time to start the semi-set. But with this application, we've had quite a bit of time putting the barrels back on. But it's a good product. It's an old product, but you don't want to use silicone. I don't use RVT silicone anymore. I have done in the past. I prefer this, and I think most people. The gasket is sit where it should be, and I've had this on a rocker box on my A10. I'll show you. We're going to have to replace those gaskets because I've used silicone and they've moved out. With well seal, it will keep the gasket. It won't slide about. So we're just going to put the nuts on now. Oh, just to say, building this engine, I didn't take it apart myself. It was in bits when I got it. So this assembly is a little bit, you don't know whether the bits are going to fit easily until you come to put them together. So we had a bit of time there with the barrels and it did take a little bit longer. So yeah, it's a little bit of an unknown because it's all bits and pieces we're putting back together. It's all the right bits for it. But I say, when you come to put it together, you don't know quite how it's going to go. But so far, good. We're putting new nuts on here, stainless steel nuts. And these are nice. They are actually nicely machined up. When you come to put these on, it's self-explanatory. Flat surface on the bottom, and these are chamfered at the top. So you get that nice finish. We're just going to go around and just nip these up first. And then what we do, we just pull up. We start from one side to the other side, diagonally, and just, there's no torque setting on here. They've just got to be tightened down evenly. We're just going to pull those to a nip point first. We'll start from the outside here, do diagonally across. It's not so important, but just going to start pulling up now. So I'll go for this one, this side of me. And I'll do that one, that side. I'll come back to this one, this side. And that one. And then we'll start on the inner ones. We'll do this one. Then we do this fella. We do the final pull down now. Now you can use your ring spanner on these outside ones, but on the inner ones you have to use the open end. So this is just really just pull down nice and tight, not excessive, but make sure you're well on your nut and just give it a good pull, and you know when it doesn't want to go anymore. Yeah, just pull back on the spanner, just pull that back, and you know when you're giving it enough, it won't want to go anymore. You're not over tightening it, but you know its point. And if you've been doing this as a living, you know where you are with things. We just work on these inner ones. These ones you can use on the ring. Barrel's down nice and tight. I did start to move the pistons to the bore, I knew they were okay, but we're just going to run some oil around the top of the pistons. What I'm doing also is just coating these bores a little bit with oil, so when the rings come up, they will have something to run on. The more oil you can get in now, and get the surfaces moving easily, the better. Now the barrel's back in place, we're just going to turn it over a few times. We put a nut back on the crankshaft and we're just going to turn this over. And it's nice and free. It's quite tight, which is good. And if we just check in a moment, I'll come back up to the top. I won't go right to the top. Now if we get hold of a piston, and we try and rock it, and we know we've got a bit of oil around there, but it's nice and tight, it's not flopping about. Okay, we've got a bit of a coating of oil. But you can see it's just a movement. This is the movement you'll get with the rings. We have a ring gap and they're slightly sprung, so the piston will move within that spring. But the bores now, I'll turn this over so you can see where that score mark was. And you can see how now the engine, now at the bottom of the stroke, if I turn this one round, we had this scoring down this side. Now that looks good now, and the bores are nice and shiny. It's quite serviceable. So we've only literally honed this out, put a set of oversized rings in, cleaned the pistons up, job done.